So I'll be going through the 5 mistakes now. The first mistake is relying on lecture notes. Now, a lot of students make this mistakes because relying on lecture notes will not help you while you are studying for exam, because in as much as it is very important for you to pay attention on the lecturer's notes, it's also very important to seek more textbooks that will reinforce your understanding on a particular concept while you are studying for exams. So seek more textbooks that will help you study more and make you understand more, and actually give you a better understanding, and you'll be able to give more answers while you are answering an exam questions. So do not rely on your lecture notes only. Seek other textbooks and materials. That's number 1. Number 2 mistake students make while studying for exams is not studying way before your exam. Now, students are very fond of this. They study a night before their exam, they study 2 days to their exam. It is not good, and it is not a better way of studying for exam. A way I would recommend is you to study like 2 months before your exam. Study 2 months before your exam. It actually gives you time to understand some things while you are studying for exam. Gives you time to understand some concepts better, and it gives you time to store those information into your long-time memory. It gives you time to store those information to your long-time memory, because if you study very close to your exam, most of the for example, you study maybe a day to your exam or a night to your exam, most of the informations you are trying to acquire will be stored in a short time memory. So for you to be able to store information to your long time memory, you have to study your particular material at spaced interval, like over a long period of time. You have to study the material over and over and over and over again. That is one way an information can stick to your memory and goes into the long time memory. And also, your short time memory has a limit. It has a limit it can contain. So take for example, you are studying a day before your exam, or you are studying a night before your exam. The particular information you'll be able to accumulate at a sitting on your short time memory has a limit, and once it gets to that limit, you cannot acquire any other thing again. So it is better for you to rest at that moment, and it's better for you to sleep. Then when you sleep, it actually consolidates the informations you've acquired and gets it into the long time memory, and it also helps you to record the information better. So the next thing is cramming. Cramming is not a good way of studying for exam. Number 1, apart from the fact that it will not allow you to pass your exam exceedingly, although people use it and they pass exceedingly, there's no doubt about that. But as long as you finish writing your exam at that point, once you leave the exam or you forget everything you studied, you forget everything. And one reason why it is like that is because when you cram, you keep your information, you keep a particular knowledge hold in a short time memory. Because when you cram, you're actually studying a large chunk of material at one sitting, and everything keeps hold in a short time memory. And a short time memory has a time information can stay there, and it has a limit of information. So once you keep it hold in a short time memory and you go for your exam, you can actually use them, and that is when students keep repeating words, and they tend not to talk to anybody when they cram. And once they get to the exam, they pour it down, and that is the end. And one way is once you leave, you forget. So the next time you have to learn, you have to learn all over again, because you actually crammed the material you don't understand. The aim is not understanding. So now what you should do is try to understand the material, study way before, understand the material you are trying to read, and space your learning. When you space your learning, it helps you to store information into the long-term memory, and it actually helps you to record the information better than when you cram. And as soon as you leave the exam hall, you can still answer some of those questions when you leave the exam hall. So it retains information for a short long-time memory, and you can make use of it at any point in time because it's already part of you. But when you cram, there's very high tendency that you can lose everything you've studied. Another mistake students make while studying for exam is not testing themselves. Now, when you don't test yourself, you don't actually know whether you've learned that material well, and you'll be able to recall them when you are in the exam hall. So it's very important for you to test yourself, and there are different ways in which you can test yourself while studying. Number one, you can test yourself by setting out some questions for yourself while you are studying, and give yourself a standard exam time and do the questions as if you are in the exam hall. That's the way you can test yourself. So by doing that, you'll be able to detect what you understand and what you do not understand, and what you need to pay attention on more while you are going back to your study session. And another way you can test yourself is actively recall what you've read. You can just ask yourself questions and recall them yourself by speaking it out to yourself. And if you cannot completely recall some of those things to yourself, that means you've not actually learned that thing very well. So it's very important for you to go back and learn again and recall again. And if you can recall them better, that means you've learned and it will stick. Another way you can test yourself is visualization. You can visualize some of those. You can just visualize your notes in your brain. Just visualize some of those things and record them. If you can do that perfectly, that means you are ready for the exam. But if you cannot do that perfectly, then go back and study. So it's very important for you to do all those things rather than just reading the material, like just going back to the material again and again and again. And the process of doing that is called a passive learning. And while you are doing that, you don't actually know whether you've learned or not. The only thing is you are only familiar with those words in the book, and that actually leads to illusion of knowing. I uploaded a video on illusion of knowing. You can check the card above on that. So passive learning, by just reading the material and being familiar with the words, can lead to illusion of knowing. And one way you can just overrule that is just to engage in passive learning. Then when you engage in passive learning, then you'll be able to know whether you've learned a material well or not. So that is it. That's all about testing. So the next point is not getting adequate sleep. Now, sleep is very important while you are studying for exams, because when you sleep, the benefits of sleeping is it's very important for you to sleep before your exam. It's very important for you to sleep before reading and sleep after reading. Now, the reason why you should sleep before reading is it sets your brain to a default setting and helps you to acquire more information better, because it keeps your brain to the default setting, and it's just like it has erased a lot of the stress that you've had in your brain and everything. So when you finish studying and you sleep, it actually consolidates those memory and stores them into the long-term memory, and it actually helps you to recall information better. So most of those students that study a night before their exams and you don't sleep, it is very possible for you to forget everything you've studied, everything, because it has actually happened to me. There was a time I had an exam. I was just studying overnight. I kept studying because I thought the more I study for that exam, although I've actually studied the material before, but I thought the more I study the material, the more I know it's better, and the more I'll be able to remember when I get to the exam. Unfortunately, when I got to the exam, I forgot almost everything I studied. I forgot almost everything. So it's very important for you to, because I didn't sleep, I was up all night. So you sleep, just you, for example, if you have your exam a day or maybe the next day, sleep for about few minutes, for about few hours, then wake up and study, and you it's actually be better like that instead of studying overnight and all. So I hope what I've given you will be so helpful to you while you are trying to prepare for your exam. So thank you so much for watching this video, and also if you like it, please subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, because I post videos on how students can get better in their academics and transform their grades. So thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.